Hi friends, welcome back. I'm your host Kat, and this is Librophiliac Knits. I'm coming to you from a cold and wintry afternoon in St. Paul, Minnesota. I am happy to report that the knitting mojo is intact. It has returned. It is in full force. Keep going. A force to be reckoned with. What am I wearing today? I'm wearing my version of a Straya hat, which is to say I cobbled together my own version of it after knitting the Straya cardigan, which is in half fisherman's rib and fingering weight. And by the time I had finished a full-size cardigan, I had a solid idea of how to figure out how to make a hat. So when there was a knit along a couple of weeks later, I did not, in fact, buy the pattern. I'm sure it's lovely, but I can't give Andrea Mowry all of my money. I have to actually buy groceries. So I just sort of played along. I didn't officially participate in the knit along. I just wanted to participate in my own way, but at the time I did not feel like I needed to buy the pattern, so I just sort of made my own version of it. The idea is similar, but not exactly the same. I wanted a nice long brim so I could fold it over. And then the stripes are the same colors I used for my Straya cardigan. But I inverted them because they're also beautiful and I wanted them to have their own day in the sun. So that was my version. What else is going on? Well, the last time we spoke, I had just returned from beautiful Copenhagen, Denmark, and I had cast on a sweater for my baby sister because that is what she requested of me. And I have been a pretty darn monogamous knitter, I have to tell you. I did try to do a little bit of weaving, and I'll talk to you about that. Basically, this is just going to be a check-in episode with a finished object, and that's really all I'm going to have time for. So hopefully you are all settled in for a nice cozy chat for a couple of minutes here, and then I'll release you back into your universe. Well, thanks for coming to visit mine. So what's going on? What have I got to show for myself? Well, I can hardly believe it myself. The last time we spoke, I had cast on a hem, right? Ooh, I can play with the frame. A hem. Well, let me just tell you, yesterday afternoon, before I left for work, I completed the bind off of the final sleeve. That's right. I have entirely completed a sweater for my sister. This is, speaking of being a terrible Andrea Mowry stan, this is my variation. Again, it's neither here nor there. But was originally requested after seeing the Weekender Light. But when I went to the store to purchase the yarn, I decided that I didn't just want to knit it out of fingering weight. I wanted to hold it double with a fuzzy lace weight, Let's see. So the yarns that I used were JC Rennie Super Soft 4-ply, which is a Scottish woolen spun yarn. It's beautiful. And then Holskarn, the other one, Holskarn Lucia, I don't know, which is like yak and silk and alpaca and all of the things. It has something else, maybe a little bit of merino in there too. So a super warm and a super fuzzy soft yarn held together made a sort of a DK weight. So my gauge was nowhere near correct. And I just did the math so that I could figure out what size to actually make her. Modifications included, she requested that the body be 3 inches longer than normal. We are long torsoed women in my family, and my sister is taller than I am. So, I mean, here, I can kind of hold it up. Let's see. Nope, I'm too short to even show you, and I can't back up because but you get the idea that it's not going to be a crop on her, which the original pattern, and Andrea Maury is admittedly a little short torsoed, was quite a bit shorter. So I have a couple of ends to weave in and some blocking to do, and then this is all finished. Can you believe it? I've just been flying through it. Sleeve Island was painful on the first side, and I'm a little nervous that the sleeves will be too short in light of the body being so long. She's a tall girl, my sister. Woman. Now that we're in our 40s, I suppose. What else could I tell you? The pattern was nice and easy to read, even using the wrong size so that it made sense with my gauge. The combo is soft. She's going to be so cozy warm. Hopefully not too cozy warm and then she doesn't wear it. I did use all of the patterns for the sewn bind off, the Italian cast on, all of the things. This is my second weekender. The first one I made a regular weekender, and now this is sort of a weekender DK, if that were a thing. And I enjoy them, and they are cozy and easy to wear. Just kind of chuck it on over anything. I think that's all I have to say about this. The pattern was easy to follow. Andrea Maury always links lots of great tutorials if you need them. The fit of this is like kind of boxy, drop shoulder situation, so that's why I'm hoping that the sleeve length isn't going to matter as much, because some of this will become part of the sleeve, right? And then it will hopefully be long enough. I really enjoyed the yarn. I hilariously was having a terrible time yesterday figuring out how to annotate my pattern in Ravelry, because I have been knitting this everywhere, like all over my house and at work and anywhere else that I go, and I had to do some like forensic investigations to figure out how much yarn did I originally buy and how much is left. And it turns out that I used 4 balls of the JC Rennie when I bought 6, and then 5 balls of the fluffy stuff, unless one is still missing in the house somewhere, but I had to buy an extra one. I'd originally purchased 6 and 4. I don't know how that made sense to me in my head. And then yesterday I figured out I had 2 left of the woolen spun yarn and none left. I was playing yarn chicken, and I'm calling it a win. I held them double everywhere except on the very bind off bit, the last edge on all of these. I didn't want to try and hold double while also doing a sewn Kitchener sort of situation. And I ran out of the fuzzy yarn halfway through the last row before doing the like knit one, slip one thing, the setup. There's like a 2-round setup before you do the actual final bind off. So like with 3 rows left on one sleeve, can you tell? Does one of them look slightly less fuzzy? Can you tell? It's probably this one. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Look. And my sister's eyeballs are about the same color as mine, so look how nice and blue. We will look at the reflection through that blue-gray. I hope she loves it. I have to block it and let it dry and mail it in time for Christmas. It's the first week of December. I think it might make it. It might make it. Hooray! Ta-da! I am very pleased with it. I hope she loves it. I love her. And the sweater's fine too. That's the one thing I've been working on. I mean, well, this is the one thing I have been working on to the exclusion of all others. And I'm not sad about it because I cast this on the week of her birthday, which is the final week of September. And here it is the first week of December, and ta-da! Sweater! So when I really put my mind to things, 6 weeks for like a DK weight sweater is, for a bigger, like taller person than me, yeah, that's not bad at all. And then, because I had finished that, and I had a feeling that it might be a little bit of a slow night at work, I dragged along 2 other projects. Sorry, twinkling. So I'm working on a sock, and I could have kept going with this, but here's the deal. I weighed this and discovered that there are 20 grams of yarn left. I'm pretty sure it was a 50-gram ball to begin with. So what I'm going to do, what I decided yesterday, is I'm going to finish this sock in something else. And also, I'm getting nervous that it's actually too big. It's supposed to be a men's sock, and I did the 72 stitch cast on, but this part of the foot right here just looks enormous. I think I might need to decrease it even further, because I think the last time, these socks are for Antonio. I gave him, and I'm sure that you do this, my friends who are knitters, who have loved ones that you want to give gifts to. I gave him this ball of yarn last year in a bag, and was like, it was an IOU. And now it's about to be Christmas of this year. I'm finally finishing the socks. But anyway, I don't have another ball of this. It was super duper on clearance, which, is there a version of Bless Your Heart that's actually Bless My Heart? Oh my goodness. Like, how kind of me to give him I think it still had the label on it, because when I started these socks, it still had the price tag on it. It was like $1.19 or something. It was so clearanced. This is called 70 Stripes. It's a Patton's Croy sock yarn. I really do actually enjoy the color patterning. It's pretty silly. I'm doing a classic slip stitch heel turn. Haven't done one of those in a long time. But I have a feeling that I should narrow the foot a little bit more. But anyway, I'm just going to use a different color of blue sock yarn that I have to finish the foot, and then this will be the other calf of the other sock so that they match, because I suspect you would appreciate that. So I got that far yesterday, and then I realized that that was what I was going to do, and so I stopped. And then I still had some time to do other things, so I got this out. This hat has been in my like Ravelry or projects page with no pictures and no progress for a number of years, like probably upwards of 3. And it's the bobble hat, which, look at how fat. I had this much at the beginning of yesterday. I had this much. I was holding together some green. I knit it until I ran out of it, and actually it's supposed to go farther up the pattern, but I ran out. And then I was holding a double with this, so it's fuzzy and soft. And then I'm going to run out of everything. This hat is going to be a real stash bust. I've been holding this fuzzy blue with this darker blue. See how fun that is? But I'm running out of the fuzzy blue faster than the body of the hat will be finished. I'm at least going to get past the sheep, and then I guess it's going to be some like Aurora Borealis situation, or I'll have to find something else, because this is too thin by itself, and I don't have any more of this. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. Whoop! Ah! Runaway yarn ball. And then I have fuzzy white stuff for the sheepies. look at how quickly it all comes together. It's really fun. And I am being real loose with my floats. But some of these sheep are very chubby. They're very big sheepies. So then that means my floats are very long, and I'm not doing anything to capture them this time because it's a hat. It's not like putting a sweater sleeve on where like you're gonna get something caught in there. The only thing that can get caught in there is your face if you throw the whole hat on like past your nose. Like I guess your tip of your nose could get caught. Otherwise, like your hair, it's there. I didn't see a point. So we're playing fast and loose with the floats in this one, and we're having fun, and it's going so fast. I feel like I could finish this by today if I could find the right yarns. That's probably going to be my stumbling block. It's just, do I have other yarns I want to use? And then I'm making the sheep brown, their little legs and their faces, for accuracy's sake. And that's it. Those are the things I've been working on lately. And then I will tell you about my one major fail. I showed you that I bought a loom, right? And I showed you that it was pre-warped, and I enjoyed my time weaving on it. And then, well, I don't know. I almost want to say I got cocky. I tried to thread. I got a ton of books from the library and I read them. And then I tried to warp this loom and everything went absolutely sideways because, and I know I did this right. It's my own fault. Here. Sorry. I ran out of some of the paper, so I'm using baking paper. What do you call it? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a disaster. Oh. Anyway, you're supposed to, while warping the loom, you're supposed to like clamp it down to the table. And I did not do that. I was like, I can just be gentle and careful and it'll be fine. It was not. Everything about this has been an absolute disaster. It got tangled. I tried to move rooms in the middle of the warping process, which, let me tell you, does not work. And then eventually I thought I finally had it all sorted out. And I went to start weaving on it, and almost immediately the tension failed me. So I got this far on my new warping project, or my new weaving project. Remember those cones of yarn I bought? I got this far. I wanted to try houndstooth. It's looking pretty good, actually. And then the warp failed. There is no warp speed here. There is no warp drive. Everything has gone terribly wrong. So I have to basically I have to sew a hem or bind it off and then cut it. And then get some clamps, clamp it to the table, pull everything all the way back out again, and then retighten everything down. It will not be even. Maybe trim the ends again, because I cut a lot of this in my first warping attempt. This is a steep learning curve, my friends. I see why people are terrified of learning how to weave, because this is a lot. It's fine. It's on timeout. I'm very annoyed. And I mean, as you can see, I'll hold it up again. This is about the size of a placemat. I could have made a placemat. Boop. I think part of what the problem was I decided to be an overachiever, and instead of just picking a finite number in the middle of the loom, I decided that I was going to try and just go all the way across. It didn't accommodate that very well. I don't think that's really what you're supposed to do. But I'm trying and failing. And it's good for my brain to be bad at something. I hate it. So that's it for me, friends. That's my check-in. Happy December. I hope that you are enjoying yourself. That if you're in the US, that you just had a lovely Thanksgiving. If you are in Canada, that you are... Wait, when's Canadian Thanksgiving again? dang it, that you already enjoyed it or that you're looking forward to it, because now I can't remember when it is. And then that you are finding ways to entertain yourself as the light wanes. And I don't know, maybe looking forward to its return after the end of this month. I personally am. In other news, what was I going to tell you? I have been reading a ton. That's the other part of it. It's like I haven't been, the life update stuff, I have not really been anywhere. I have not been doing anything. I have been reading like my house is on fire, and the only way to put out the flames is to read the books and get them out of here. If I were to move this, you could see that my TBR pile on my bedside table is currently like this tall all the way across the table until you cannot see the surface anymore. And like 40% of that is library books. So it's a little out of control. I can't help myself. And I love it. It's just how I am. I finally made it to the romance bookstore in South Minneapolis called Tropes and Trifles. If you have one of these in your neighborhood, I highly recommend, well, and you love romance novels, which I do, I highly recommend going to support your local bookstore, because it was tiny and adorable and like kitsch. No, what it was a niche market, and I am the niche, the consumer to whom they are focusing. No, I don't. Nope. Okay, can't sentence. I am the ideal consumer for that niche market. There we go. And I was so thrilled with everything that was there, and the staff were lovely, and I bought 3 books and I read 2 of them immediately, and the third one, it's a dark romance. I'm not sure. I actually think that I'm in the mood for some lighter stuff right now, although the book sounded great, and I'm just not sure why. I had to buy it. It was, of all the things in that whole bookstore, I asked my partner, like, how many books should I buy? And he was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, play along. And he goes, 3. I was like, okay. And I went there and I bought 3 books and 3 stickers. So I mostly followed the brief. The stickers were the extra. But in the grand scheme of expensive things, it's not too bad. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. Life is pretty good. Work is pretty good. I hope that you are doing well. I would love to hear about what sorts of fun things you are making. And I will check back with you soon. Bye, friends.